There are 5 main objectives for the reform programme. Firstly, it's to improve the economic viability of the fishery. During the review process, we heard from a number of fishermen who were very concerned about the economics of their businesses and also the overall viability of fisheries. It was clear that something needed to be done, and this reform through the Business Adjustment Programme seeks to improve both the economic viability of fisheries in New South Wales, but also their ability to react to biological changes. Around 10% of the species in New South Wales are either experiencing overfishing or are overfished, and a number of species are unknown in terms of their status. We believe that the reforms will both improve economic viability, which is the fundamental reason for undertaking this process, but also in the longer term ensure that the ability of these fisheries to react to changes in size of stock or various species will be much higher than it was before. The second objective is to strengthen the value of the rights or the shares. Strengthening these rights will ensure that those people who wish to exit the fishery, who no longer wish to continue operating in a particular share class, could do so and derive some value for those shares. Also, those that wish to invest in the fishery can make a purchase with some confidence that they're buying a valued right. Also, as we know from our experience in a number of fisheries, the stronger the right in those fisheries, the more stewardship people feel towards that resource, because in the end, if that resource is kept in a healthy condition, then clearly your share of that resource increases, as does its value. Objective 3 aims to provide more flexibility for share fisheries. The flexibility under the reform will enable fishermen to not have to hold the full entitlement. They'll be able to, in some cases, hold more or less. They'll be able to also tailor the cost of holding those entitlements. There's a move to introduce a new form of cost recovery, which will be tied to firstly the number of shares held, but also there'll be a base charge. So even the very small shareholdings will attract a charge. So this will encourage the very small shareholdings who either don't use them or use them very infrequently to perhaps sell, and those who wish to buy them to be able to buy them at a reasonable price and thereby increase their shareholdings. The fourth important issue or objective is the reputation of the fishing industry. As you're probably aware, through the super trawler and other issues, commercial fishing is not always flavour of the month with the public. In the case of New South Wales, the large numbers of vessels in some of these share classes provide some reputational risk for New South Wales fisheries. The reform aims to improve the public perception of New South Wales fisheries by ensuring there are effective controls on catch and effort. Under Objective 5, it's important to ensure that there is investor confidence. And I don't just mean investors who have nothing to do with the fishing industry. In many cases, these will be share fishermen who need to invest to come up to a minimum shareholding or wish to expand their operation to be able to either catch more fish or to use more gear. Now, for them to invest often considerable sums to do so, to expand, then they'll need to have the confidence that over time the value in those shares will be maintained. The same level of confidence is also required from lending institutions and banks, because often the finance needed to enlarge their operations will need to come from these sorts of institutions.